Hello everyone, today our group will be presenting our public service announcement on title We Have Only One Home that relate to SDG 13. So let's get started. And this is the table of contents that we will present. Hello everyone, my name is Nasrin Salah and today I will be presenting the background information for our public service announcement or PSA. The title of our PSA is We Have Only One Home. Before introducing our topic, let me briefly explain what a PSA is. According to Indeed Editorial Team 2025, a public service announcement is a message shared with the general public to raise awareness about an issue, while its main purpose is to inform and educate. A PSA can also inspire people to take actions or making positive change. PSAs are commonly used to address important issues such as health, safety, education, and environmental. They aim to deliver clear and impactful messages that encourage the public to think, reflect, and act. So, this concept forms the foundations of our PSA, which is focused on climate actions and environmental awareness. Now, I will move on to our PSA topic. Our PSA title is We Have Only One Home and focuses on climate actions, which is closely related to SDG 13. Climate change is one of the most pressing environmental issues facing our world today. Rising temperature, extreme weather events, and environmental degradations continue to affect both people and nature. For example, like just a few months ago, I have heard the news that the report and warning about in hot weather in Penang, reminding us that climate change is not just a global issue, but also something that affects our daily life. Human activities such as pollution, deforestation, and excessive consumption contribute significantly to this problem. As shown in our poster, climate change not only affects the environment, but also threatens wildlife and future generations. The title We Have Only One Home serves as a reminder that Earth is the only one home we share, and it is our collective responsibility to protect and preserve it. The target audience of our PSA is primarily young adults and university students between the age of 15 to 30. This audience includes individuals who are active on social media and digital platforms, where environmental issues are frequently discussed and shared. Our PSA is also relevant to people who are interested in sustainability and environmental protection, as climate change affects communities around the world. Although we focus mainly on young adults, but the message of We Have Only One Home is intended for everyone, as protecting the environment is a shared responsibility. In the next sections, my teammate will explain why we choose this target audience and how it relates to SDG 13, climate action. Thank you.
For our PSA, we selected SDG 13, climate action, which is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals introduced by the United Nations. The goal of SDG 13 is to encourage urgent action to combat climate change and reduce its negative impacts on society and the environment. We chose this topic because climate change has become one of the most significant global challenges today. Around the world, countries are experiencing rising temperatures, extreme weather conditions, droughts, floods, and other environmental problems. These issues affect not only nature, but also human health, food security, and economic development. As climate change continues to worsen, raising awareness and encouraging action have become increasingly important. Besides being a global issue, climate change is also affecting local communities in Malaysia. In Penang, we can observe increasing temperatures and more frequent flooding, especially during periods of heavy rainfall. Climate phenomena, such as El Niño, have also contributed to hotter weather conditions and environmental changes. These changes can affect people's daily livings, public health, transportation systems, and local ecosystems. Therefore, we believe climate action is a highly relevant topic because it directly affects the communities around us. Through our PSA, we hope to connect this global issue to the everyday experience of our audience. Our target audience is young adults and university students. We selected this group because they represent the future generation that will face the long-term impacts of climate change. They will eventually become leaders, professionals, and decision makers who can contribute to environmental protection and sustainable development. In addition, young people are highly active on social media and digital platforms. This allows climate-related messages to spread more quickly and reach a wider audience. Another reason is that university students are at an important stage of developing habits and values. By increasing their awareness of climate issues now, they are more likely to adopt environmentally responsible behaviors in the future. This directly supports the objectives of SDG 13 by encouraging individuals to take meaningful actions against climate change and contribute to a more sustainable future.
Okay, now I would like to discuss the significance of our public service advertisement. Our PSA focuses on SDG 13, climate action, which aims to raise awareness and encourage actions against climate change. We choose this topic because the climate change is no longer a distant problem. It is being a serious issue that affects our daily lives and communities. Okay, the first reason why this PSA is significant. It raises awareness about climate change. Although many people have heard about climate change, so may not fully understand its seriousness or how it affects them personally. Our PSA helps make the issue more visible by using a strong visual contrast. On the one hand of the poster, we show a healthy and thriving environment with greenery, wildlife, and clean surroundings. On the other hand, we show pollution, drought, and environmental destructions. This contrast helps the audience clearly see the possible consequence of environmental neglect and climate change. And secondly, this PSA encourages environmental responsibility. The title, "We Have Only One Home," carries an important message. It reminds us that Earth is the only planet we have, and therefore everyone shares the responsibility of protecting it. Climate change cannot be solved by governments or environmental organizations alone. Individual actions also play an important role. Simple actions such as reducing waste, recycling, conserving energy, and using resources responsibly can collectively make a positive difference. Okay, in addition, this PSA supports SDG 13, climate action. One of the main objectives of SDG is to improve awareness and promote action against climate-related issues. Through its message and visual design, our PSA encourages people to recognize the importance of environmental protection and suitable living. It also reminds the audience that the choice we make today will affect future generations. Alright, why this PSA is significant is that it makes climate change more relatable. Many people view climate change as a global issue that only affects other countries or future generations. However, our PSA connects this issue to everyday life by showing environmental problems that are already happening around us. This helps the audience understand that climate change is not a distant issue. It is something that affects all of us right now. Furthermore, the PSA emphasizes the environmental protection requires collective effort. The slogan, "Together we can protect on our only home. Every small action makes a big difference." It reminds the audience that meaningful change begins with small actions. Whether it is reducing waste, conserving energy, or making environmentally friendly choice, everyone can contribute towards protecting the planet. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Ren Jiaxin, and I will focus on the first part, the potential impact of our PSA. So the impact of PSA title is we have only one home, can be understood through 6 levels. And as a media message, a PSA does not only provide the information, it also influences how people think, feels, communicate, and behaviors in daily lives. Through media communication, our PSA can create both immediate and long-term effects in individuals and societies. It helps raise awareness in short terms and may gradually shape the attitudes, discussion, and even social norms over time. So today, I will explain the 6 levels of impact in detail. Starting from how people understand our message and moving to tell how it influences society as a whole. First, the PSA have the cognitive impact, focusing on knowledge and wellness. Through the visual contrast between healthy Earth and damaged Earth, audience can immediately understand the effect of the climate change. The polar bear or the mountain ice, together with the factory smoke and drought, makes the environmental more visible. As so, the PSA raise the wellness and increasing the understanding of the climate change. Second, the PSA create the emotional and attitude impact. The title, "We Have Only One Home," encourage audience to see Earth as something valuable that needs protections. The image of the polar bear losing its habitat, the dying tree, and burning environment can create a feeling of the concern and empathy. This motion may change people's attitudes and make them care more about climate actions. And third, the PSA create a behavior impact. At the bottom of the poster, the call to action message, "Together, we can protect our only one home, and every small action make a big difference." Remind audience that everyone can contribute. After viewing the PSA, people may be encouraged to recycle, save energy, reduce plastic use, and use the public transport. This shows how media message can influence real-world behaviors. The fourth impact is the media sharing and communication impact. Our PSA simplify a complex issue by using strong visual and simple messages. It also encourages discussion and engagement, as the audience may talk about the climate change after viewing the poster. Through social media sharing, it can expand audience reach and promote the climate communication to a wider audience. And the fifth impact is the community and social impact. The PSA can influence families and friends by encouraging people to share environmental knowledge. Over time, it helps build an environmental culture and encourage community participation in environmental activities and promote the collective responsibility for climate actions. And for final impact is the long-term impact. By raising awareness and encouraging positive behavior, the PSA contributes to sustainable development. It supports the idea of the sustainability and encourage people to think of the further generation and the environment will be in heat. So although one poster cannot solve the climate change, it can inspire the long-term awareness and the positive change.
Alright, now I will explain the linguistic features used in our PSA poster and how they help make the message more persuasive and impactful. The first feature is contrast. In our poster, we use a strong contrast between two different environments. On the left side, we show a healthy and sustainable world with clear water, greenery, and wildlife. In contrast, the right side presents environmental destructions through drought, pollution, and extreme heat. This contrast helps audiences clearly see the difference between a future where climate action is taken and a future where environmental problems continue to worsen. The use of cool blue tones and warm red orange tones further strengthens this visual impact. As a result, the audience can immediately understand the seriousness of climate change and feel a greater sense of urgency. Besides visual contrast, we also use language to create a stronger emotional response. The second feature is emotive language. A key example is the phrase, "We have only one home." We deliberately chose the word home instead of the word such as Earth or planet. This is because the word home carries a deeper emotional meaning. It represents a place where we live, belong, and feel safe. In addition, the word only emphasizes that we do not have another home to replace it. This creates a sense of urgency and reminds the audience that protecting the environment is not optional but necessary. By using emotive language, the PSA encourages audiences to connect with the issue on a personal level rather than viewing climate change as a distant global problem. Besides creating emotional engagement, our PSA also encourages audiences to see themselves as a part of the solution. The third feature is the use of inclusive pronouns. For example, the statement "we have only one home" uses the pronoun "we." This simple word helps create a sense of unity and shared responsibility. Rather than blaming a specific group, it reminds everyone that climate change affects all of us and that everyone has a role to play in protecting the environment. Another feature is the use of a short, persuasive slogan, which is "Every small action makes a big difference." This slogan is simple, memorable, and easy to understand. It delivers a positive message by showing that even small actions such as reducing waste or saving energy can contribute to environmental protection. Because the slogan is short and easy to remember, it helps reinforce the overall message of the PSA and encourages positive behavioral change. In conclusion, our PSA uses several linguistic features to make its message more powerful and persuasive. The use of contrast creates awareness and urgency, while emotive language helps build a stronger emotional connection with the audience. In addition, inclusive pronouns promote shared responsibility, and the persuasive slogan makes the message memorable and easy to remember. Together, these features strengthen the overall impact of the PSA and encourage young adults to become more aware of climate change and take action to protect our environment. These are our references. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.